this week's episode of the Early Childhood Educator. I'm so glad you're here again. Today we're going to try something new. This is the first episode of a series called ECE Confessions. In these episodes, we will talk about the nitty-gritty little details of being an ECE, the little secrets we wish you all knew. We'll let you in on all we want you to know as a parent sending your child to childcare. Maybe a few secrets, maybe some tips here and there. We'll just see what it turns into. So grab a cup of coffee, snuggle up with a cozy blanket and a cozy sweater. It's officially fall season here, and that's a perfect time to launch the first series in ECE Confessions. In our first episode, I'm going to spill the beans on 5 secrets of an ECE. These are just 5 examples that I came up with that maybe you can relate to as an ECE, or as a parent, maybe you're just curious. So here's today's 5. Number 5. This one probably comes as no surprise to you. We like it when you pick up your child early. Let me let you in on a little secret. We actually don't mind when you pick up your child on time. It's really no bother to us at all, as long as you pick up your child at a consistent time every day. The hard parts are when it's willy-nilly all over the place, because we can never anticipate when it's going to happen, and if your child's ready and if we're ready, we like to have a little bit of know before time. We completely understand this is not always possible, but a consistent pickup time is great for the children and for us too. But it is really nice when you pick up your children early. It gives us a little extra time to get a provocation together for the next day, or if it's a long weekend, sometimes our bosses let us go home early. My boss does. That's a joke because I am my own boss. It's not because we don't love your children, trust me, we do. It's always hard at the end of the day for the children. They start to get more tired and just ready for mom and dad, and they need you, and they start to have a hard time with their emotional regulation skills. So early pickups are always helpful for all of us. Number 4. This one happens all the time. You don't need to apologize for your child's behaviors. Yeah, they didn't sleep very long today or eat very much, or, we worked through some behaviors that were challenging. You don't need to apologize. It's okay for your child to have these behaviors or to have an off day. We are ECEs, we are professionals, and we know how to care for your child and help them through these challenges. It's not your fault, it's not their fault, it just is the way it is, and we know that as professionals in the field. This is something we deal with every day. This is something we expect in our workplace. In fact, when things, on that rare day when no child has any extreme challenges or off schedule, we're very surprised. This doesn't happen often, once in a blue moon, maybe. Although we love having extra time during sleep time, we know that children are our first priority. Number 3, a little coffee or a little treat goes a long way. There's nothing more motivating than on a Friday morning or a Monday morning, a parent bringing you a cup of coffee. I'm not sure what you take in your coffee. I don't know if you even like coffee. Doesn't matter. Even if we don't like what you brought us, we are so happy that you did, because it shows that you put in a little extra effort in your morning to show that you appreciate us and that we are a valued member of your village. It's happened to me before where I already have my cup of coffee ready to go in the morning, but a parent brings me another cup of coffee. I'll set mine aside and I'll drink the one you brought me, because it's just so nice and makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Often in a center-based program, we are not really allowed to have our own snacks hanging out in our classroom and just eating willy-nilly, but when a parent brings a little treat for us, it would be rude if we didn't have a bit of it. So we always appreciate that. It helps us get through our day and just remember how appreciated we are. When it comes from the parents, it makes us feel really good. If you don't know what your childcare provider likes, ask their coworker. They spend so much time with their other coworker that they know them so well. They can tell you exactly what treat to get. And then, they can whisper to their coworker what they like. So when you go to ask them, you get them something that they like too. And that will just brighten those ECE's days. If your childcare provider works alone, like I do in a home childcare setting, just ask. Just say, hey, I'd love to show my appreciation by getting you a little treat in the morning every once in a while. What do you like? Or what do you take in your coffee? Or do you drink tea? We will just be very excited that you even asked. Even if you don't even bring us one or you forget, we are happy that you put in the effort to at least think about it. And I'd like to say little treats and stuff, they're not everything, but they do just help us get through the day and make us feel loved. And we're on to number 2. So number 2 is, we are always worried that you are going to pick up when your child has a dirty diaper, or that they're going to have a diaper rash after our day in care. If you pick up your child and they have a dirty diaper, don't think of it as your childcare provider isn't taking care of your child. In fact, it's probably the opposite in most cases. It probably means that they're so focused on the play exploration going on around them that they, in the midst of it all, had a poop or wet their diaper and didn't notice because we were also engaged in the play and learning. Trust me, we change your child's diaper way more than you do. Now that I'm a mom, I use keep those diapers on my baby's bum as long as I can until they don't hold anything else. I mean, within reason. But we are always changing diapers. We have a regular routine. Sometimes the diapers we change are even dry because we just want to make sure they have a fresh bum so they don't develop a diaper rash, because that makes us feel so sad when your baby has a diaper rash. Ultimately, we want you to know that we care about your child and we're taking good care of them. Sometimes certain kids just poop at pickup time. It's very annoying. They can't help it. Nobody can help it. But I do pick up outside, and we'll go outside and a child will poop every day at 4 o'clock when their parent comes at 4:05. And, you know, we go in and we change it. But sometimes it just happens right when parents pick up, and it's hard to know. Just remember that if your child has a poopy diaper or a wet diaper at pickup every day, it's not necessarily because the ECEs aren't taking care of your child. It could be a multitude of things, just their bodily habits, or they were so engaged in play, or they had just changed the diaper so they thought, no worries, you know, we're good to go. But we are terrified that that's going to be a consistent thing that happens every day, and we don't want you to feel like your child isn't getting the care that they are. Same goes for potty training. It's so hard to know when a child needs to go. Nobody knows. The child doesn't even know. So if we're always having accidents at a consistent time in the day, again, it's not because your childcare provider isn't taking care of your child properly or assisting them before we go outside. Bodies just do what they do, and there's no control over it. And often we're just so engaged in our program that children have a hard time letting us know, or, you know, we're working through problem solving with something and our mind is focused on that and it gets missed. It doesn't mean we aren't taking care of your child. It just means we are juggling a whole bunch of stuff all at once. And number 1, we love your child deeper than we let on. Like, more than that. I always refer to my children as my children, my babies, my toddlers, my preschoolers, and other ECEs do the same. We feel so connected to your children. We try to tell you how much we care about them, but we don't want to come off as creepy or like we're undervaluing your care for them as their parents. But we really love your children, and we know them so deeply. We spend 8+ hours a day with them often, and sometimes it's every day. Sometimes that's more time than you spend with your children. And that doesn't mean we love your child more than you do, because a parent's connection is so much different than a childcare provider's connection. But we just want you to know that we love your children. Their little quirks, their little challenges they have, when we get to work alongside them, we grow a really deep relationship with them, and we build these really strong bonds of trust that is hard to make if you don't spend the time that we do with them. And we use techniques in childcare approach and how to help them through all the areas of their development, and so they trust us so deeply. Often we're teary-eyed when children go, and you know, we build those bonds when you're at work. When you're there, our little friends want to hug their mom and dad, but when we're there, we're their caretaker and they want to hug us and they need us for their support. So that should make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. I hope I can find someone who loves my child the way that I love other people's child in my childcare program. How great is it to have the ability to learn to trust other adults to love and care for you? What a healthy way to learn to love. Often you'll hear maybe a more old school approach that the best place for a child is with their parent every day, all day. But I'm not so sure about that as someone who works in the ECE field. Obviously, parents are very important, and Quantity time is quality time. I think in addition to that, having other adults that your children can build strong bonds with opens up a whole nother pathway for development and for empathy building and trust building. And I think we become better members of society when we learn to be in relationship with people who aren't our family, who aren't like us, and make a family outside of our nuclear family. So with all that being said, maybe those 5 secrets surprised you, or maybe they didn't. There's a lot more little secrets like that to come. Happy to share them with you. If you're an ECE or a childcare provider and you have little secrets that you want to tell, spill it in the comments or send me a message and I'll include it in another episode of ECE Confessions. I'm happy you joined us. Let me know what you think. Like this video, subscribe, and we'll see you next week on the Early Childhood Educator. Take care.